Welcome to Instruction Discussion, our weekly look at the latest topics and trends in education affecting schools here on Long Island and schools around the world. Whether you're a teacher, parent, or student, listen for tips and strategies to help you navigate the educational landscape. There's a bell. It's time to start today's Instruction Discussion on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello, I'm Kevin Boston Hill, and welcome to Instruction Discussion, where each week we will examine a recent trend or development in education and its impact on Long Island. The global labor market has been undergoing a transformation over the past several years. Even before the pandemic, employers have been increasing in their acceptance of more types of professional and technical certifications. This trend is likely to continue growing, especially as tech talent remains relatively scarce. The talent shortage in the United States has more than tripled over a 10-year period. In 2020, some 69% of employers said they were struggling to fill skilled positions. Just 10 years prior to that, that number was 14%. In the tech sector alone, there are more than 1.2 million U.S. job vacancies. This program has discussed in the past how technology expertise in all industries is desirable to employers who are in need of new sources of talent, usually found in underrepresented communities or by people switching professions. To address this situation, IBM has several education initiatives geared to providing no-cost STEM job training to U.S. military veterans, neurodivergent learners, and university students from underrepresented communities. To help us understand IBM's efforts, today we welcome back a friend of the classroom, Justina Nixon-Santil, IBM Vice President and Global Head, Corporate Social Responsibility. Welcome back to Instruction Discussion on 90.3 WHPC.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm so excited to be back. So thank you for inviting me.
No, again, it's our pleasure to have you back and to kind of get some updates on where we are with all of this, because I think the last time that we spoke, IBM had set this lofty goal of skilling 30 million people globally by 2030. So about where are we along that path?
Yeah, so we made that announcement in late 2021, and we're actually at around 3.5 million people that we've skilled globally so far. So we're really excited. I mean, there's such demand for the types of training and content that we offer on our platforms through our partnerships. So we are well on our way of meeting that goal. And I was excited that we were able to at least reach 3.5 million people over the last, year.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the announcement came late last year and in 2021, and we're only not even halfway through 2022. So we're talking just about 6 to 8 months that you got 10% of your goal already. So that's amazing. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, we had been working on this internally for quite some time. So although we made the announcement in October, we had launched the SkillsBuild program last year, especially in the U.S., and we had already started doing a lot of the training for participants. And not only that, we partner with areas across our business. So it's not just through the corporate social responsibility work that I lead that we are able to provide this type of training and support. But this is an area that's deeply important for IBM. So, for example, in quantum computing, which is a new area for the company, for many companies, we're also training people and making sure they understand what that means, because that is going to revolutionize, computing in the future.
Now, we know that this time of year, the springtime, is a time when there's a lot of people graduating. So we're going to have a lot of people entering the workforce for the first time, whether they're graduating from college or graduating from high school. So what does the job landscape actually look like right now for employers, students, and prospective employees?
Well, we all know right now that the market, there's such demand for talent, especially in the tech field. There was a study that was done that showed there were, 600,000 unfilled positions just in cybersecurity in the U.S. And there's so many employers who are looking for people with those technical skills. So I think, university graduates are in a great place. We're also partnering with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. We're partnering with Specialist Stern Foundation and a number of other organizations that could provide skills and employment opportunities for those who have been unrepresented in tech. But I think the job market looks really good right now for those who have those technical skills, those certifications, that 4-year degree in the area that they're interested in. I think there'll be a lot of success in getting the right employment opportunities.
Well, let's expand off of what you were just talking about as far as those partnerships that IBM is forming. Who are some of those entities that IBM has partnered with recently? And can you kind of describe how each of those partnerships is going to address the education disparities and the STEM skills shortage?
Yeah, so the first is the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, and we are really excited about that partnership because when you consider that around 250,000 service members go through a transition to the private sector each year, we are excited to partner and proud to partner with the VA to really help those new veterans gain new skills to succeed in the next stage of their careers. So we're providing to the veteran community our IBM SkillsBuild program, giving them access to all of our resources, our training, and our credentials. And then we're going to work with them and the Vet Tech program to offer a very customized learning path and accelerate their job training for high-demand technology careers. What I like about this, and with all the partners that we are working with, is not just providing the training, but also supporting the attainment of a job across different companies and industries. So that's what we'll be doing with the Department of Veterans Affairs.
And who else are you partnering with? I think you also partner with some HBCUs, and there was some other, yes. I think it was like a French name that you were partnered with as well. Yes, so we're also partnering with historically Black colleges and universities, and this is the continuation of a commitment our CEO made back in August. During a cybersecurity conference at the White House, he committed for us to launch cybersecurity leadership centers in 20 HBCUs. So we just announced the launch of the first 6 of those 20 HBCUs, where we're doing a number of things. Number one, we're going to provide cybersecurity curricula to them. So they're going to have access to a customized security learning portal, where we're going to provide that training to them on cybersecurity. We're also going to provide an immersive learning experience. So our own IBM Security Command Center is going to provide a highly realistic, simulated experience around cyber attacks and really provide them with a real world example on how they respond to those cyber attacks. And then we're going to provide access to our cloud for free. So that's what we're doing with the 6 historically Black colleges and universities that we're partnering with. And then in addition, Specialist Stern Foundation is an organization that focuses on neurodivergent individuals. When you really look at the population across the globe, around 15 to 20% of people are neurodiverse. And these are people that are on the spectrum. They may have ADHD, they may have OCD, and we're partnering with them across 13 countries to provide access to skills and also moving them along the pipeline of employment as well. So those are the new partners that we have brought into our fold, but we've also partnered in the past and these are the partnerships that we're continuing with organizations that focus on women, organizations that focus on additional Black and Brown communities. It's really our mission to make sure that when we're skilling 30 million people for the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow, we are looking at people who have been underrepresented in tech and those who have been marginalized. I think it's really important as far as the work that you're doing for the neurodivergent population, because that seems to have been a population that was overlooked for a very long time. Excuse me. And they can contribute just as much to our society as anyone else. I mean, you can never tell who somebody is or what type of disability they may have just from looking at them. So you don't know what their abilities are until you actually test them. And I know that a lot of people,
Absolutely.
and I know that having worked myself in education with a lot of people who are on the spectrum, again, there's a wide range of abilities that we're talking about here. And I think everybody to some degree is somewhere on that spectrum. And I think it's really important for us to really kind of demystify what it really means to be neurodivergent. And this partnership that IBM has goes a long way to doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I consider them in a group that I call untapped talent. So these are people with a number of different capabilities to be successful in the corporate environment, the work environment. And it's really around how do we make sure we provide the right resources, the right training, and help connect them right with the right jobs. I can tell you at IBM, these are the people that we focus on. All of those that I mentioned, veterans, we have a really strong pipeline of hiring veterans at IBM. Neurodivergent people, the same thing. We have a significant population at IBM and also really focused in the U.S., especially on increasing our D&I pipeline. And we do that in many ways with our partnerships with HBCUs. But again, this is untapped talent because once they come in, they do just as well, if not better, than other employees that have come to IBM in different ways.
So now, let's say I'm not a veteran, I didn't attend an HBCU, and I don't attend HBCU, and I'm not neurodivergent. Is there still some way that I can still benefit from IBM's resources?
Absolutely. So our SkillsBuild program is free and open to everyone. So although we have very specific partnerships where we focus our efforts, again, on those people who have been underrepresented in tech, anyone, no matter where they are along their career journey or their learning journey, they can access SkillsBuild on skillsbuild.org, and they can take advantage of all of the digital skilling programs, the badges that we have available. For example, we have technical disciplines in areas like cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, which I mentioned earlier, data analytics, and they can take advantage of all of that training. And within 3 to 6 months, they can earn an IBM branded digital credential that they can use when they are looking for job opportunities.
You are listening to Instruction Discussion on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Kevin Boston Hill, and our guest today is Justina Nixon-Santil, IBM Vice President and Global Head of Corporate Social Responsibility. You started talking about different certificates and certifications and credentials and badging and all of that. We see that most of the initiatives that you have just described involve all types of certifications, from the traditional diploma to the aforementioned certificates and credentials and things. So what type of statement does that really make about how learners should decide on what type of training they should pursue?
Yeah, I think it's more around having a choice, right? I think there was a time that learners or job seekers did not have a very specific choice if they wanted to have a high earning salary in a very specific area. But when you look at the technology field, you now have choices. You can go the traditional 4-year route, right? Get a 4-year degree. And that's great. If you're able to do it, if you have the means to do it, that's a great opportunity for you. But if you're not able to get that 4-year degree, we now have additional choices for you, right? So you can get a credential, right, in cybersecurity, and you can still get an entry-level job in that area starting at $70,000. That's significant, and that is something that can help you take care of yourself, your family, and really help you on a career path. So I think the big thing around certifications and credentials is that, number one, it expands the labor pool. I think that's good news for employers and potential employees. And it really gives you an opportunity to address the skill shortages.
Let's be real for a moment, because if you're telling me that somebody who does not go to a 4-year school, doesn't get the 4-year degree, that they spend 3 to 6 months to get this credential, this badge, and they're able to pretty much get the same type of entry level job that the 4-year degree person got after spending X amount of dollars on doing so. And does that degree or that credential just apply to IBM, or can they use that pretty much anywhere?
No, they can use that pretty much anywhere. And I think, it's correct. We've seen this in action. We have seen people without a 4-year degree, or people with a high school degree or a 2-year community college degree and a credential that can attain a job in a technology field, making that type of a salary. I think having the choice to do that is what makes a difference now, but it's also because of the market we're in, right? This is a hot market for technology jobs. And when you have cybersecurity jobs with 600,000 of them are currently on field, and you have, cybersecurity, which is something that all businesses have to consider, right? Government has to consider it. This is about the safety of our world. It's not just our country. It's not just one business. This is an area that is a hot market today, but also in artificial intelligence, in coding programs, in data analytics as well. You see the opportunity to get that certificate, especially if you're very driven and this is something that you're very interested in and you're passionate for and passionate about. And you can actually move into an entry-level job in those areas, making a significant salary. So absolutely, it's happening right now.
I think we may have discussed this before, but we get new listeners all the time, so I'm sure they need to hear this as well. Who can actually access SkillsBuild other than the parents and students who go onto the website? Is there a way that their high schools can actually partner with IBM for these courses? Or can they, if they're homeschooled, can they use it in that type of a setting as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone can access skillsbuild.org. If there are schools who are interested in working with us and partnering with us to provide access across an entire district or across a certain grade level, usually the content starts at a high school level and above. But we do partner with school districts to bring the content to their high school students. We partner with community colleges. We partner with universities. And then we partner with nonprofit organizations who are very focused on skilling job seekers and making sure they're ready for these types of jobs. Now, even going back to the point you made around, are these potential employees that would just work at IBM where we recognize the badge? No. These are IBM branded badges that could be recognized at any corporation. Of course, if we're able to hire, and we usually do, people who participate in our programs, that's great. But this is really around supporting society at large and working with a number of other businesses that, provide employment opportunities. So this is bigger than IBM. It's a huge commitment from IBM, but many companies are looking to hire the people that get these credentials, especially, again, in fields such as cybersecurity and data analytics.
Now, are all of the coursework that IBM offers through SkillsBuild or even through any of these partnerships, is all that coursework of no cost, no charge to the people who take them? Or is there another section that they can do that does require some type of fee?
No, this is completely free. It's a huge part of our corporate responsibility. And, this is something where we decided we had to invest in making sure that we are skilling people around technology jobs, providing workplace learning skills as well, because we know it's not enough just to understand the very technical content, but you also have to be well-versed in the other skills you need to be successful in the workplace: collaboration, creativity, presentation skills, problem-solving skills. So this is really around providing that full portfolio completely for free, so that we make sure that we are preparing people for, again, jobs of today, but also young people for the jobs of tomorrow. And this helps everyone, right? It helps society at large. It helps companies like IBM, but it's really important to make sure that we are not leaving anyone behind as we move forward with digital transformation.
Now, you just mentioned that people also need to have those soft skills of communication and organization and so forth in order to be successful in these technical areas, not just the technical skills. But how are technical skills only useful for tech companies, or can they use those skills in other areas, other industries as well?
No, I don't know one industry today where you do not have to understand technology. There is not one. Whether you're an educator, whether you are in retail, whether you work an assembly line, at a plant, there is no job today where you do not have to be technically proficient. So these skills are skills everyone will need to be successful.
I know you mentioned a few of the types of courses that are available, but are there any courses that you may have noticed that are more popular, that kind of get more sign-ons and enrollments than others? And about how long does it take to complete an entire course?
So it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and it really depends on the learner and how much time that they have. So for people who are currently working a full-time job, it may take longer to complete it, but those who are available and can spend more time on the platform, it may only take 3 months to complete a course and have a badge at the end of the process. And the course that we see that is most popular right now is cybersecurity. Again, it's a hot field. So anyone from high school students to university students to job seekers, they're accessing that content. And it's not always just to look for employment. They need to understand that, right? There are a lot of people who are taking these courses just for their own upskilling, for their own understanding. It helps with their current job. For example, for many people that are already in a technical field, and then for others, they're switching to a new career and they're looking for that badge in cybersecurity to enable them to do that. But cybersecurity definitely is one of the top ones that we see people accessing. But we also have others that are very popular. For example, we have some creative design courses, that we provide through a partnership with Adobe. There are others that really bring out the creativity in people, those who are more interested in art and design, and those seem to be very popular as well.
Now, I know a lot of companies lately have been partnering with like national universities, as far as institutes of higher learning is what I'm trying to say. So they've been partnering with these institutes of higher learning to create the coursework that they were going to have for their employees to upskill them. So has IBM kind of done a similar type of thing where they've partnered with a institute of higher learning to develop this coursework that they're able to give for free, or is it truly something that's home-based?
No, this is co-created in some ways, right? So there's some content that we have created at IBM, and we have such great expertise. I mean, we have a huge, for example, cybersecurity division within the company that we partner with to provide a lot of the content, the real-world experiences that we provide, for example, to universities. But in other cases, we co-create. So although we have content that's available, we will actually partner with those universities, work with them, understand their needs, and we co-create, curricula with them. I think both are, the right things to do, because we want to make sure that we're providing a customized portfolio of options to the universities that we work with.
Once again, where can people go to get more information about whether there's IBM's programs or anything about SkillsBuild or anything beyond that as well, just to get all of that information that they can to kind of upskill themselves, especially if they're looking to change professions?
Yeah, so people can access ibm.com/skills. And that includes people who are interested in the training and the content that we provide, but also any nonprofit organizations or universities, community colleges, high schools that would like to learn more and partner with us. They can reach out to us through that website as well. And then for those who want to go directly to our SkillsBuild platform and start on a learning path to get an IBM credential in a very specific topic area, they can go to skillsbuild.org.
Tell us a little bit about, or what if you have an update on how the P-Tech program is running. I know that's a program that really partners with high schools and community colleges to to train people in the tech field as well. How is that partnership going?
Yeah. So we have over 300 P-Tech schools globally, and the program is going very well. We hired, and I may have shared this with you previously, but we hired around 1,000 P-Tech students last summer for our apprenticeship internship program. And we are committed to doing that again this summer. So we're really excited, and we're starting to prepare for them coming on board this summer. And a significant percentage of those students, especially if they are ready to graduate from the P-Tech program and from their community college, they get hired at IBM as well. So we are creating that pipeline, and these students are already well-versed in a lot of these technical areas and the workplace learning skills, because that's a huge part of what we bring to the P-Tech program.
If you had to, I guess, leave our audience with one final thought about what employers and employees can do to address the tech skills labor shortage, what would that thought be?
Look at the jobs that you have, right? The jobs that you post in, the unfilled positions at your company, and really look at whether you need a 4-year degree for somebody to be successful. Could someone take that job, get that job with a credential, with a certificate, with a badge? Especially in that technical area. So I think employers have to spend some time and look to see what's available, to untapped talent, to people out there who may not have the 4-year degree, but they're looking for a great opportunity and they have the right skills, right, to be successful in those areas. And I think that's the best thing that employers can do right now.
I think that's definitely excellent advice, that it's incumbent upon the employers, the companies, to really take that deep dive within themselves and say, well, who can we get to fill these positions? We have all these positions that are going unfilled and we need to fill them. So realistically, what is it that we need to do to, not that we're lowering our standards, but is there an alternative path that we can follow to fill these positions?
Exactly. It's really about providing choices to people. And again, this really expands the labor pool for employers as well.
Again, we'd like to thank our very special guest and friend of the program, Justina Nixon-Santil, IBM Vice President and Global Head of Corporate and Social Responsibility, for coming on to our show today.
Thank you, Kevin, for having me.
Once again, my name is Kevin Boston Hill, and thank you all for listening to Instruction Discussion right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.